This is about defending democracy. This is no longer Democrats versus Republicans. What do you want your kids to believe in? There must be give and take.
This is White Flag with Joe Walsh.
I'm going to guess that most of you are going to disagree with what I'm about to say. That's okay. That's the way life should be. And we listen to people we disagree with, and then we disagree with people respectfully. But most of you are going to disagree with what I'm about to say. I had a conversation last night with a new friend. He's a Democrat. He's become a friend, obviously, in the last few years, ever since I made my very public turn against Trump. And he asked me a question. He said, Joe, you never go after Trump supporters. You go after Trump all the time. And I get that, and I like that. But man, Joe, Trump supporters are bad too. And, Trump's bad, cruel, intolerant, a racist, a bigot, an idiot. Come on, Joe, look at his supporters. They're bad. They're racist. They're bigoted. They're intolerant. Why don't you attack his supporters? It led to a really helpful conversation. And I'd like to just highlight that conversation right here because this is really important. It's important to me, and it's really, really instructive. Generally, what I told him is as a rule, I do not go after Trump supporters. They're my family. They used to be my supporters. They used to be my voters. They used to be my followers. They used to be my friends. They used to be my family members. I was a Trump supporter. We come from the same place they do and I do. I saw a light, I saw the light, and I left. Donald Trump is a uniquely horrible human being. I think he's a bigot. I think he's a racist. I think he's a psychopath. I think he's a pathological liar. And my Democratic friend said, but Joe, all these people vote for him. They know everything about him. So come on, man. They're as guilty as he is. Two thoughts. No, they aren't. No, they aren't. And more importantly, it doesn't help to say that they are. It doesn't help to say that they're every bit as bad as Trump is. I don't believe that. Not for a moment do I believe that. And even if I believed it, it wouldn't help to say that. So as a rule, I've always had a clear line between Trump, bad, evil, existential threat to our democracy, and Trump's supporters, Trump's voters, Trump's followers. The vast majority of whom are good people who have tied on to this guy, who have clung to this guy for a number of different reasons. I know I've got a lot of Democrats listening to me right now, and I know many of you Democrats know Trump supporters. I come from the world of Trump supporters. I know thousands and thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of them. I engage with them every day. I'm not going to say they're bad people because I don't believe they're bad people. I don't. Are some of them bigoted? Are some of them white supremacists? Are some of them white nationalists? Are some of them ignorant? Are some of them all the rest? Hell yeah. But you know what? Go into any population in America and you're going to find bad people, and you're going to find bigots, and you're going to find racists, and you're going to find intolerant sons of bitches, no matter where you look in America. But in the main, Trump supporters are good people who've grown angry, confused, concerned, and scared about where things are at, and they've clung to this guy. I don't believe they're bad. So I don't call them bad people. I believe Trump's bad. So I call him a bad person. But you know, the more important point I want to make, and this is what I told my friend last night, is this. No matter what happens in November, no matter who wins, this country's divided, dangerously divided. I want to understand. We have to understand why Trump supporters feel the way they do, why they feel the way they feel about Trump, what about him caused them to cling to him, to be drawn to him. It's my mission to help us understand that. There's way too much just fearful shit going on in this country. There's way too much otherizing. You know, we go after the other in people. We need to understand each other fully. I'm not saying find common ground, but we need to understand each other. I think it's really important that the country understands why Donald Trump has had such great appeal. For us to move on, for us to heal, for us to do something about this divide, we have to understand that. I want to understand why. And I know many of you might be saying right now, Joe, I know why. I know why they cling to him. I know why they support him. Bullshit. You might kind of, sort of, but you don't fully. We need to fully understand. Just like we need to fully understand why progressives feel the way they feel. Just like whenever I talk about Israel, Gaza, I always want to understand, and I'm very pro-Israel, but I want to understand why people don't like Israel and consider Israel to be like an apartheid regime, which is bullshit. But when I sit down with someone who thinks that way, I want to understand why they think that way. For this country to survive, to stay together, we need to heal this divide. We need to get over the fear that way too many of us have. And we do that, we begin to do that by understanding where people are coming from. So if I just say, like so many people say, fuck MAGA, they're all bad people, I'm closing the door to any attempt, any outreach at trying to understand them. I don't want to do that. I don't believe that. I want to engage with these folks. I think what I'm able to find out and what I'm able to disseminate with all of us will help all of us understand why they think the way they do. And if you want this country to come together, I mean, if you want to just write off 40, 50, 60 million Americans, just write them off, go ahead. You can do that. I can't. And I won't. And I don't think the nation could stay together. This nation could stay together if we just wrote off 40, 50, 60 million people and said, fuck them, they're unreachable. They're not unreachable. We need to understand why they think the way they do. This country is going to be 100 times more exhausted and 100 times more divided this upcoming January or February, no matter who wins in November. The only way we'll begin to get past the division and the hate is with understanding. Understanding everyone. That's what I told him. Think about it. React to it. Let me know what you think, by the way. Send me an email. joewalshwhiteflag@gmail.com. All one word. joewalshwhiteflag, one word, @gmail.com. Let me know what you think. Thanks for listening. Be brave.
Thank Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, share, and follow White Flag with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been White Flag with Joe Walsh.